places to go.
March's adventure was going to the rock climbing gym, and I kind of wanted to make this video kind of twofold. One, just showing the fun, the falls, and the frustrations that I have at the rock gym, but also just to give you guys, maybe who haven't been to a rock climbing gym before, just an idea of what the process might be, and hopefully you'll be less intimidated to maybe go out and try it. I realized as I was making videos in the gym that I couldn't do any like live commentary at the gym because we were blasting Arena Rock today, which I had no problem with, love those vibes, but I don't want to be copyrighted throughout my entire video. So a majority of this is just going to be voiceover as I put clips behind it. So hopefully that's still engaging. So when you first enter the rock gym, there's going to be some sort of front desk. If you've never been there before, you obviously tell them you're looking just to get a day pass. Usually that's $20-$25 depending on the rock gym. If you've never been there before, they'll just get some primary information from you, and then they'll either give you a demonstration of kind of like their rules and regulations in the gym, or you fill out all your information on this little tablet and then you watch a little like orientation video. Once you've checked in, they'll usually ask if you want any gear. So if you don't have any gear, totally fine. It's usually like $5 per piece of gear. So I just do bouldering, and all you need for bouldering is shoes. So $5 for a pair of rental shoes and you're good to go. We're gonna keep it simple today. I go bouldering, so that's what we're gonna do today. When you're in the bouldering cave or the bouldering wall, it just depends on the gym how big of a bouldering community they have or need for bouldering. All this means is you're without ropes, the walls are maybe 10 to 12 feet tall, you know, that's it. There's massive crash pads underneath. And when you're standing and looking at the wall, sometimes that can be really, really intimidating depending how the gym sets it up. Let's talk about what you're looking at when you're looking at this barrage of colors and maybe tape and everything on the rock wall. At some boulder on the wall, you're gonna see a placard or something that has information on it. And generally it's gonna be when that route was made, who it was by, and then a scale. Typically what I see in the rock gyms that I've been to in the United States are using what's called the V scale. And the V scale goes from 0 all the way up to 17. So the easiest climb is going to be a V0 and the hardest is going to be a V17. That also depends on the tilt of the wall as well. Some gyms have more, straight up walls, other have really slanted walls. Some have a nice, outcropping that you go up and around. So obviously a, say V2 on a straight wall is gonna be a lot easier than a V2 on, a slanted wall where you're hanging upside down. Let's take this yellow V2 that I was looking at, for example. So we identified the starting rock, and normally it's going to be, this gym had taped like V's around the rock. Other times it'll be maybe 2 tape lines indicating that these are like the starting rocks. So you want to have a hand placement on whatever your starting rocks are, and then you're going to start with your feet off the ground, hang, and that's the start of your route. And then what's going to happen is you're going to follow those color indicators. Again, whether it's taped lines or the color of the boulders are all the same, you're going to follow that color. So you're going to try to put your hands and your feet all on the same color route as you go up. So you're not just kind of like free climbing the wall. Obviously you can just free climb the wall. You can do whatever you want pretty much. But the point of it is to pick a route that you want to try to do and then follow that route all the way up. That's the challenge of bouldering. The fun thing about bouldering is you might do, like a V2 on one wall, and then just next to that is like a V3 or 4, and you're like, oh, I had an easy time doing the V2, and then you go to do the 3 or 4 and you're just falling and falling and falling and falling and falling, and you're like, what is going on? The differences in some of the handhold or foothold like patterns, some might be like a nice easy, this is the rock, you can stick your fingers in there and like hang on. Other ones you might have to do something like this to hold on. So depending on what your strengths and what your weaknesses are, sometimes there can be a little frustration. And case in point, When I was doing some of my rock climbing, there was two other individuals that were trying to work on some of their projects, and that's just when you have a route that you really want to try to complete, and so you come back day after day or week after week to try to complete this one route. And there are two other individuals that were there trying to figure out a route, and this one girl couldn't get past this one point on, you know, one of the harder climbs, and so this other climber and I that were just sitting there watching her, we're like, oh, well, maybe we could try this, maybe we can try that. So you know, that's a fun part of the climbing community, is everyone's willing to help each other out, no judgment, typically. And everyone's willing to help each other out and maybe give suggestions as far as like, hey, what is tripping you up on this? One thing I do really enjoy about the rock climbing community is just generally how open it is, and if you truly are part of the community, which I'm not necessarily a climber, I just like climbing. Chloe wanted to join, right? You had to make an appearance. As long as you're being respectful and not trying to climb on top of other people or next to each other, and you know, not walking under people as they're climbing, you know, the community is going to be generally very open and very nice. I hope that this video maybe opened your eyes a little bit to what you can do to get out there. Rock climbing, even bouldering, is not as easy as it looks. Sure, it's easy to just like powerhouse your way up a route, but you'll be like winded for like 10 minutes afterwards, and your hands start hurting like really quickly if you haven't done it before. So it can be a very, very humbling experience, but it's great just general exercise. It's good general community and just getting out and about. So hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight into maybe looking up one of your local rock climbing gyms, and maybe picking a day to go climbing with friends or even by yourself to just have a nice general session, you know, on your own. I really hope my own adventures are maybe giving you some creative and new ideas to try something new yourself. And with that, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.